What else are you most excited about? What are the other interesting kind of use cases you're seeing that maybe aren't quite at the point of crossing the chasm, but you think that over the next, 3, 5, 10 years are going to be really powerful?
Great question. I'm really excited about, what people like you are doing, right? Like, I think what you're doing with your podcast and the value for value system that you're building around, streaming sats and different things like that has immense potential. Maybe I'm an idealist or whatever, but I think that's the way internet businesses should work. And it's clearly something that, when they were designing the internet protocol, they were thinking about because you have this HTTP 402 payment required sort of response status code, which basically is reserved for future use. And this was a status code that was created to enable digital cash or micropayment systems, which would basically indicate that the requested content is not available until like the client makes a payment. So it allows for the ability to do micropayments and value for value on the internet for articles, videos, whatever it may be. And I think that that model just makes more sense. Like if you think about it, if something is free, you're probably the product to a certain extent. And so with an ad-based model, products are incentivized to get worse over time. Like you look at YouTube or Google today versus 5 years ago, the number of ad placements and video ads is totally ridiculous. And it's because you need to generate more revenue, you need to show growth, all that different stuff. What value enables, if it's done correctly and people build it right, which it seems like is happening with Fountain or other different tools, people can stream sats, but they can also give you a boost at a specific time, so okay, that was valuable, I can do more of that. And so I think value for value as a business model and the use cases around that are super exciting, and I think it's the way that internet businesses should work. I'm excited about the potential there, for other use cases to cross the chasm.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea that there's nothing hidden going on. It's a direct payment from a listener or a consumer to a producer, and you can see, and then you can split payments. Like we're going to do a split here on this show, and you're going to get a split of all the sats that people send in, and everyone will be able to see that any sats, if one sat goes through, we're both going to get 50%. If 100 sats, 1,000 sats, whatever it is, everyone can see the exact split. So it kind of like it makes it obvious what the incentives are, and it makes it clear that this is how the business operates, and that money is required for businesses. And
And I'm
and
sure it's fun for you. Like I
yeah,
mean, when you get like a stream sat notification, I'm sure that has, a little hit of endorphin, which is like really interesting and cool to think about. You're getting those sats streamed from around the world. You don't know when people are accessing it, where they're accessing it, but they're, paying you for the value that you're providing, which is incredible.
exactly. And that's given me a different perspective on the importance of earning Bitcoin versus buying it, because I think that that might be a separating factor that separates Bitcoin from other crypto assets, is that basically every other crypto asset you acquire it or you participate in that network by buying on an exchange. And that's that. And you buy it with whatever money you have. And if you don't have any money, well, too bad, you're out of luck. And so it's kind of like you're, in a sense, it's like replicating the wealth distribution of fiat money, because only the people with money get to participate.
Right.
But when it's earning Bitcoin, like I think this is going to be a really powerful idea, because it opens up access to people who don't necessarily have money, but can contribute value, can contribute their time and their effort in a bunch of other tasks. I imagine we're just scraping the surface of what those tasks could look like, but it gives people an outlet to participate without having to have money, if that makes sense. So like, I just think
Totally.
there's a lot to. What's your perspective on like the importance of earning? I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like two things I think about there. One that you just talked about, which I think is incredibly important, which is this idea of, even if people don't have the money to buy Bitcoin, or even if they do, have some money to buy Bitcoin, there is, a huge overhead of educating them about why they may want to do so, right? and getting, that message out there, convincing them to convert, their hard-earned whatever currency into Bitcoin. There's education that has to go into that. Whereas if you think about the possibility of earning Bitcoin, specifically around earning in ways that weren't possible for before, then I think things get really exciting. I think you talked about this a little bit with Lynn Alden, in regard to the sort of Central African Republic and adopting of legal tender. They have issues with regard to, internet penetration and different things like that. But if that were to, increase, and you were able to give people their opportunities to earn Bitcoin through something like Stackwork, where they can, complete tasks, where that opportunity did not exist before, and you're paying them in Bitcoin, I think that does even more, potentially, to help people understand that Bitcoin is this money that can help them. It's a better money because they can earn and make money, make Bitcoin, in opportunities in ways that they didn't have before, right? So I think that's, one component of it. And then the other one is just, I think circular economies are incredibly important. And I especially love things like Podcasting 2.0, Stacker News, Vita Live. These sort of enable like Bitcoin earning side hustles, which is awesome. And I think there's a psychological component of like, if you earn Bitcoin, maybe you're more willing to give that Bitcoin back, spend it back to someone who is trying to earn Bitcoin. You don't have to do any like fiat conversion or think about it, but it's kind of like, when I think about what I will do with the Fountain sats that I receive from this split, I'm probably going to listen to podcasts on Fountain and stream sats to creators. And so that circular economy idea, I think, is also an important component of earning Bitcoin.